teaching artist with Metal Arts, a nonprofit out of Twist, Washington. Today we're in my art studio and we are going to be exploring the concept of value. Value is the lightness or darkness of something. So it's the basic building blocks for learning how to shade. We will create value bars and a little mountain scene. So all you will need is a piece of paper and a pencil. If you choose, you can use a color pencil for this project instead of a regular pencil. So go ahead and grab those materials and we will get started. Okay, so I have my paper. I'm going to just fold it in half like this so I know where the top and bottom half of my paper is. We'll be doing some value bars up here and we'll draw something different down here. I'm going to use just a regular pencil. You can use colored pencil for this project if you want to. So I did this little example so you can see that you can use a colored pencil if that's preferable. But for my demo, I'm just going to do 4 rectangles with my normal pencil. They don't have to be exactly the same or perfect by any means. This is just a little practice. So I have 4 rectangles at top of my paper. This one we're going to divide into 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll write the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So this one down here is going to be the darkest in our value bar, and this one's going to be the lightest. So value is the lightness or darkness of something. So in this one, we're going to put our pencil on the side and we're going to draw really light, barely anything, super light. This one, we're going to just push a little bit harder. It's a little darker, right? This one, we'll push even a little bit harder. I'm just adding pressure to my pencil on the paper. This one, it's going to get even darker. Do you see the pattern here? Going light to dark. This one, number 5, is the darkest. And sometimes you'll have to go over what you did to make it darker. So we just did a value bar from light to dark, because value is the lightness or darkness of something. There's different ways to get value. We did it by putting our pencil on the side, but how about in this rectangle, we put our pencil in our hand, kind of like we write, and we do really big diagonals in the first part, and then we get a little closer. I'm putting my lines closer, and then closer, and then closer, and then so close that they touch. You can even go over on them. This is just called hatching. So this is light to dark by hatching. Doing diagonal lines is another word for hatching. You might have heard of the word crosshatching. So we're going to do the same thing over here, but then we'll actually crisscross our lines. So big open lines here. This is our light. Get them closer together. As we go down, my lines are getting closer together. And oh, they start touching almost. I'm going to go darker, darker. I'm pushing a little harder with my pencil and my lines are closer together. So it looks pretty much like this box, right? But here's the trick. You can either turn your paper or your arm. Some people like to just do this, which I think is easier. And then I'm going to crisscross my lines. So I'm doing the big ones See, my diagonals are the opposite way. Bigger, and then I'm going to get closer together and even more closer together. And now I'll flip my paper back around. This is hatching. The lines go one way. This is cross hatching. They crisscross. So now we have 3 ways of value. This one, let's do the scribble lines. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to make light, loose scribble lines, little loop-de-loops, big and open ones. And then our circles might get a little smaller as we loop around and they overlap more because I'm trying to go light to dark, right? So I'm going to scribble. Oh, I'm going to go closer together. My scribble lines are going to get smaller. My loops are now tighter circles. Tight, 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 tight. And then I push a little harder. You can overlap your scribbles. So now we have light to dark scribble lines. There's many ways to do light to dark. These are just a few. But we're going to take this knowledge and we're going to draw something in the bottom half of our paper now. So I want to stretch your hand out, all that scribbling. All right, so we're going to take whatever color pencil you're using and we're going to draw a mountain scene down here. We're going to take our pencil and draw a bumpy line at the bottom. See the bottom of my paper? It's about 1 inch up. It's just a little bumpy line. I'm going to go a little bit above it and I'm going to draw a little bit more of a zigzag line. All right, so I'm just drawing lines across. This time I'm going to go from one of my zigzags, I'm going to come up and make a little curvy line. And then I'll do the same thing. You can go from this way or from up here. This will be my last line. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that I drew. These ones go all the way across. These ones start and stop more in the middle. Yours might look different than mine, and that's great. That's okay. So when we look at mountains, the mountains that are furthest away are the lightest on our value scale. When they're closer, they're the darkest, those dark trees that you see. So down here, let's put our pencil on the side, and this is where we're going to make it the darkest. So I am going to push with my pencil and I'm going to fill that whole section in. I'm just shading, filling in with pencil lead this whole section. And if I'm going too fast, you can pause me. Or if I'm going too slow, you can skip ahead any point. But I want this dark, so sometimes I gotta come back and go over it. I want this to be as dark as I can. I want this to be the value of number 5. See that? That's my darkest I can make it with the pencil that I'm using. Okay, so now that we did that one, let's go up to this next one. This one we want lighter. So I'm going to not push as hard. See, I'm just letting my pencil kind of flow over the paper, a little less pressure. I'm still with the lead, the ballerina on our heels, the pencil. I'm using the whole side of my lead. If I use the lead this way, it would take me ages to fill it in. So using the side of your pencil is really helpful. Okay, so when you get that filled in, I kind of go back and get all the little white spots I missed. So this is the darkest, this is lighter, right? So this mountain right here is the next one. This one's in the background, right? The line stops there. So I want to shade this mountain next. So I'm going to try to push even lighter. How light can I go? It's going to get lighter and lighter. The reason why the mountains in the distance look lighter is because there's more particles in the air and it softens the view as it goes back, right? The atmosphere. So I have dark, a little bit lighter, lighter, and then this one's gonna go quick because we're not going to barely do any. We're just gonna go super light, super, super light, so light that you can see there's pencil on there. I'm trying to do mine a little darker so you can tell the difference. When you go back, sometimes you lose your contrast. Your hand smudges through it all. So now I have a mountain scene where I'm going dark to light. I could have gone light to dark also. You don't have to go one direction or the other. So this is a simple technique you can use as you're learning how to shade things. You can do it with color pencil or pencil. Okay, so we just did this way, but I also want to show you this way. You can use these different lines and patterns to create value in your shading and gradients as well, your value lines. So this one I just did all solid. This one I cross-hatched. This one I scribbled. And this one I just used vertical lines because it was the lightest and I made open lines. So you can use these that we practiced and plug in different patterns. Just try to go dark to light, no matter what pattern you choose to do. So you just learned value. Value is the lightness or darkness of things. All right? Thank you so much for drawing a mountain scene and learning about values with me.